So we're made of 37 trillion cells in the human body. Now, each one of those cells is made up of fatty acids. You've got omega-6 and you've got omega-3. Now, omega-6 is a pro-inflammatory. It's there to cause inflammation when we need it. So without omega-6 or omega-3, we would die. We need them both. They're essential fatty acids. The body doesn't make them. We have to get them from our food or from a supplement. Now, say, for example, we fall over and cut ourselves. We need omega-6 to go there to cause that bit of inflammation, to help the body heal. We also need omega-3 to come along and bring that omega-6 down, because what happens is if there's too much omega-6, the inflammation will come out of control. And that is what's happening because our food industry are using omega-6 to prolong the life of our food. So most things we're consuming has got omega-6 packed in there. So every day we're consuming omega-6, we're not consuming enough omega-3, and this is becoming a real problem at a cellular level. It's building inflammation in our cells. This is then manifesting into chronic illness and disease. Now, for somebody, it could be, everybody's different, so it manifests in different people in different ways. For Sarah, it was her ADHD, her brain. For me, I had arthritis in my knee. For somebody else, it could be that they've got really bad menstrual problems, or they could have fibromyalgia, and everybody, it's different. So this is the problem. This is where the problem lies. Now, it's a real, everybody knows that inflammation is the driver to disease. Now, this is just a few. This is just a real quick Google search. But we're dealing with many different and many more conditions. So just a few facts. 10% of the UK population have an autoimmune disease. One person in the UK gets diagnosed with cancer every 2 minutes. And dementia is actually the leading cause of death in women in the UK, which is absolutely scary, if you like. And then 1 in 4 adults in the UK, sorry, I know we've got people in the US on this call. I should have put them statistics in as well. But yeah, just for tonight, 1 in 4 have chronic pain, and 24% of those are taking painkillers, opioid painkillers. So it's a real bleak picture. And we all want to feel good. We all want to stay fit. We want to be healthy. But at the same time, these health-related problems are on the increase. It's time to really ask ourselves why. Why are thousands of children getting diagnosed with type 2 diabetes when it never used to be a childhood illness? Why is cancer 1 in 2? Why? Why are we getting so sick? There's blue zones around the world that have never, ever heard of these conditions that we're getting diagnosed with every hour, if you like. So we've really got to try and start owning our own health, really not relying on that system that could maybe put the plaster over it, and really think about we need to own our own health now. So it's about letting your food be your medicine and your medicine being your food. Zinzino have introduced high quality nutrition in supplement form, making it easy for people to put that nutrition back in. There's a huge gap in our nutrition and it has to be bridged. We're not going to be able to get it from anywhere else, like I said at the beginning. So taking you back to when my granny was growing up, for example, we used to eat food from Mother Nature. We'd go to the butcher and get our meat. We'd go to the fishmonger and get our fish. We'd go to our local allotment and get our fruit and veg. Everything was locally sourced. We'd have plenty of fresh fruit and vegetables available to us. And just looking closely at omega-3 here, you've got 2 types of omega-3. A lot of people talk about the plant-based omega-3. So you hear a lot about chia seeds and flax seeds and walnuts and all those. But another really important omega-3 is your marine-based omega-3, which is from your small fatty fish. So your sardines, your mackerel, your anchovies, your salmon and your herring. So you need to be eating both of these on a daily basis. And way back then, we did used to go to the fishmonger and get our sardines and our wild line caught fish. But unfortunately now it's very, very different. Now we're eating man-made food. Our cows are being fed man-made food. Our fish from the supermarket is being pellet fed. So it's not even feeding off the algae in the ocean. It's not line caught anymore. So, a lot of our food is empty calories, low in fibers. You've only got to walk down the supermarket aisle and you've got no fat, low fat. We need good fat. We need our fats in our diet. And we've got to this point now where we're really out of balance with our omega-6 and our omega-3. So just looking at the history, the DNA formation, we should be at a 1-to-1. So 1 omega-6 to 1 omega-3. I often compare it to a fire and a fire hose. So omega-6 being a fire. If you've got one fire hose, amazing. And actually, science recommends that if you've got 3 fires and 1 fire hose, that's also okay. So we recommend, well, that's the safe zone. The safe zone is under 3 to 1, which is where we are recommending people need to be. Unfortunately, in the 60s was when the turning point happened. That was the industrialization of food. Everything started to make a shift. And that was when we saw a change in our omega-6. And every single decade, it's getting worse and worse. Now, just looking here, the European average is about 15 to 1. UK average is 25 to 1. So yeah, sad really. So in conclusion, we lack our key nutrients. We have this huge imbalance, and this is having a knock-on effect to every single part of our body. Remember, it's cellular. So we're made up of 37 trillion cells, and that is our whole makeup of our body. So it is causing reduced brain function, hair quality, heart, organs, and everything else. So just looking closely now at our cells. So if you've got a reduced functioning cell, so a cell that's got too much omega-6, not enough omega-3, the cell membrane becomes very hard and rigid. So it's like a golf ball. Nutrients can't get through the membrane into the cell to feed all of the inside of the cell, and waste products can't get out of the cell. It's just as important that we're getting the nutrients in, that we're flushing the toxins out. And if they're stuck in that cell, you can only imagine what's going to happen. They can't get out. They're just stuck and manifesting in that hard, rigid cell. So we want to get you into that real healthy cell membrane in that 3 to 1 ratio, where the nutrients are easily getting into the cell, feeding the mitochondria. The mitochondria then's releasing all the energy, and then the waste products are easily getting out. This is another cellular structure here. So this part here, the yellow part, is the cell membrane. This is the gateway to the cell. It's where all our nutrition get in. So people say, oh, sorry, I'm taking turmeric shots, or I'm taking lion's mane, or I'm taking this, that, and the other. But if your cells are not absorbing them, it's just an expensive pee. You're just peeing it out because your cells are not absorbing them through that cell membrane. You have to make sure that cell membrane is like a sponge and it's going through into the cell. And like I just mentioned, you've got these mitochondria here. They're the powerhouse. That's the energy source. So a lot of us feel fatigue. We're craving sugar to get that energy in the afternoon, or we need that caffeine. Well, actually, if you feed the mitochondria and you've got natural energy, you don't have that slump in the afternoon. You don't crave the sugars and the caffeine. So are you in the danger zone? You're sitting on the call now. Think to yourself where you want to be. You want to be at that 3 to 1 ratio. You're probably at around 15 to 1. Personally, that was where I was when I tested. And the sad thing about it is our children test a lot worse. Now, I blame myself because I'm a midwife. I should have been told when I was learning about midwifery, I suppose, but I wasn't. And midwives don't tell women how important it is to make sure they've got enough omega-3 for not only themselves, but their growing baby. So babies, unfortunately, being born, and then, children test a lot worse than adults, which is really, really sad. I've had children that have been tested up in their 70s, and it's just, yeah, it is really shocking. So what does your dashboard say? I always compare it to a car. You wouldn't get into your car in the morning, you're all like flashing, you think, oh, it's all right, just carry on driving, it'll be all right. Because what would happen? It would eventually start breaking down, it would blow up, and it's exactly the same with us. If we don't give our body what it needs, it will start to break down and eventually it will blow up. So we haven't got a dashboard to say, we need this, we need that. So unfortunately, we have, in the past, had to just wait until something goes wrong and then we go to the doctor and try and fix it. But fortunately now to us, this is why we've got you on the call. Zinzino have a test. And the test, and like Sarah said, is really, really, helping us on a cellular level and really improving our health because we're looking at that internal inflammation. So it looks at omega-6 rebalance, it looks at our protection value, it looks at our omega-3 index, how much of the DHA and EPA are going to our brain, so our brain function. It's looking at that cell membrane and it's looking at omega-6. So I feel like it's a gift that I want to give people to do this test, to really look, because you've never been able to look at this before. So we use VITAS. VITAS is an independent laboratory over in Norway. They have all the official partners, as you can see on the screen. Zinzino are their largest customer. We have performed 1.6 million tests globally now, worldwide. And our tests show that the world is out of balance. 97% of the global population are walking around with silent inflammation. So if you can imagine, thinking about obviously the business side of it too, we can help 97% of the world with this. 97% need what we've got. and we can help them with it. So no other omega-3 out there will get you out the danger zone. And we know this because we have that test, we've got that data. The data of 1.6 million tests, human blood tests, that we can show to people that we have the data. We've tested people that have not been on omega-3 before. The average came back 14.8 to 1. For those that were taking omega-3, the average was 9.9. So they're still not doing what it should be doing. And those that took our balance oil after 4 months, they retested at 2.8 to 1. And this is how we can show people that no one else is doing what we're doing. No one else is getting people into the safe zone. Okay, it's making a little bit of difference, but at 9.9, you're still in the danger zone. Now, the reason why our balance oil is very different to any other supplement out there is because it's not a fish oil. It's not an omega-3 supplement. It is a balance oil. It's made with 60% pure grade fish oil from small wild line caught fish. And the other 40% is a polyphenol, which is from pre-harvest virgin olive oil. Now, that polyphenol protects the omega-3. So if you get another supplement, an omega-3 supplement, for example, omega-3 is very fragile. It oxidizes very quickly. So what the supplement industry do is they take the omega-3 from the fish, they put it in a capsule, and then when it reaches body temperature or the air, it will oxidize and go rancid. So a lot of people say, I take fish supplements and it repeats on me, it smells fishy. Well, that's actually because you're taking a rancid fish supplement. It's doing more harm than good. Whereas what Zinzino have done is they've put back the polyphenol how it is in nature. And the polyphenol protects that from going rancid. And it actually transports it to our cell where it needs to go to. Where a lot of the other products, you just take it and you pee it out. It doesn't even get through the digestive system. Also with our Zinzino balance oil, it is done by body weight. So my children take a lot less than what I do, for example. It's very personalised. It isn't one size fits all. So everything we do at Zinzino is backed by science, backed by scientists, doctors. Dr. Paul Clayton is a pharmaconutritionist. Please Google him after this call. He is fantastic. He's written books, blogs, and he is the mastermind and the brains behind the product at Zinzino. So we can really turn back the clock, bring you back into balance in 4 months. And the reason why we test after 4 months is because you get a fresh set of cells every 120 days. So everything at Zinzino is made with highest quality of care. We have the Informed Sports Certificate, so we work a lot with elite sports, a lot with professional athletes, because we have this rubber stamp from the Informed Sport to say it's safe to take when you are, in that sporting industry. We have a vegan oil as well, which is derived straight from the algae. And as you can see, you've got a lot more of the stamps of approval here. And I love this slide because it just shows how important it is for us to make sure we have the right amount of omega-3 from 6 months old to 100 plus years. And the reason why it's 6 months is because we're assuming that the babies are getting it through the breast milk of the mother. And then about 6 months when they start weaning, they do need to start putting it into their diet. But also, I haven't mentioned that omega-3 is the conductor of hormones. So any hormonal stage of life, if you've got your omega-3 through the floor, you're not going to have a very good time going through that stage. So thinking about kids going through puberty, pregnancy, fertility is massive. Postnatally, if a pregnant woman hasn't got enough omega-3 for a baby, not going to have enough for herself, she's going to have a tough time when it comes to postnatal. Obviously, then maybe postnatal depression. Going to menopause, absolutely massive. We're really, really helping people in menopause because of the hormonal, all the hormones all over the place. But then looking at, brain all the way through, immune function all the way through life. So it's really, really, essential every single stage. Here, this is a really, really important fact here that we've got 18 health claims approved by the European Food Standards Association. So our products are not supplements, they are from the food source, which is how we have these, approvals from EFSA. So just looking at the first three, normal brain function, normal heart, and normal immune function is what everybody wants. But, there's a lot more. Normalizing blood pressure, normalizing cholesterol, normalizing vision, everything's about bringing the body back to normal. So just moving quickly onto the gut. So we have 100 trillion bacteria in our gut and 70% of the immune system is in our gut. So we have good and bad bacteria. And unfortunately, some of the food that we eat does damage our good bacteria. So it's really important that we do maintain that good and bad bacteria for a healthy microbiome. And a lot of people talk about probiotics, which is great, but you have to feed that probiotics to be strong enough to, reproduce and be strong enough to fight off the bad bacteria. So what we do at Zinzino is have a prebiotic gut powder, which feeds our microbiome, and it feeds it to maintain its strength and, really has a balanced bowel function, microbiome, good gut health, reduces sugar spikes. So it's 8 of the essential dietary fibers that we should be consuming in the gut powder. So actually, the recommended fiber intake is 7 grams, but the average person only takes 3.5 grams a day. So we're not consuming enough fiber in our diet anymore. And then just lastly, I just want to talk about our multivitamin, which is our Extend. Well, it's actually very much more than a multivitamin, if you like. It's 4 of the Extend is the equivalent of 9 kilos of fruit and vegetables. So it's a real boost to your immune system, strengthen your immune system, increasing energy levels. It is a really intelligent product. There's coenzyme Q10 in there, beta glucans that work alongside the prebiotic gut powder. And all of our products work synergistically together. Yeah. And then lastly, Multify is one of my favorites. All my kids take Multify. It's just as intelligent as Extend, but just for our little ones. And, there's everything in there that they need on a daily basis.